feels as if, this my mage level, went up. And when I, again, when I talk about magic, I talk about art. And when I talk about art, I talk about magic. It's the same thing. And I'm gonna link 3 conversations with a great magician called Alan Moore in the description below. And I feel like I leveled up by continuously listening to those conversations and really getting into the, mindset, you could say, or understanding an idea, not just knowing an idea, but really understanding an idea. And what can I say? For me, Alan Moore is sort of my Dumbledore. That's sort of like a great teacher of mine. Excuse me. And yeah, I wanted to share that. I think that it's really incredibly interesting. If you're interested in that sort of language, in that language of, well, yeah, the idea world, your fantasy world, the imagination, what is that? It's quite amazing. But I have to say, and that's sort of what I feel at the moment, is that if you level up, if you go that way, if you really wanna, be how do you say, well versed in this realm, it comes with its own dangers, and one of those dangers is, or maybe the main danger is, that you lose grip of your reality. That you go insane. That's actually a problem. Because you start to. I mean, let's start with reality. What is that? There's your first, potential in just by defining this word. There's potential in losing touch with it. Hang on a minute. If my ideas influence reality, but I'm inspired by reality, and I'm sort of what's going on, and suddenly you're spinning and you're feeling a bit dizzy, and you can lose it. And I think a great trick to not lose it is to have a sense of humor, to always sort of laugh about yourself, and also to understand that language is clunky, that reality is sort of, it can mean this and also this, and both at the same time. I have to say that the feeling of my level up feeling, it's very. I went to work today, to do my job as a supervisor and to take care of all of these children and watch out that nothing happens and that they play along and have fun, and I succeeded. But I have to say, today felt weird, because I just came off of this realization, and I came to work very relaxed. I have to say, I'm losing a lot of of stress and anxiety, which is great. That's a great thing. That's one of the things I felt when leveling up in this magical realm, which is reality, but also not. No, but really, it felt a bit dizzying. It felt like a bit, wow, all of these, for example, when people come back from ayahuasca trips, they say, it can be hard to get into touch with society again, because because everything looks so weird. That's basically what I felt like. How is this all real, and why are we driving this? Like, everyone knows the school system is bad. I haven't met a teacher in my school or a parent yet that thinks like, yeah, this is all really incredibly great and we shouldn't change a thing. And yet nothing changes. That's so weird. And also, I mean, I can understand it because it's tough, you know. For example, I think boys should be allowed to to sort of wrestle a bit on the playground, and that is prohibited at the moment because of of other people watching. Basically, it's prohibited because the image of the school could be, people could call in and say, hey, they're teaching the kids to fight, and then the headmaster of the school is in trouble and stuff. And it's childish nonsense going on, when in fact the childish nonsense that should be allowed is prohibited, and the childish nonsense that shouldn't be in the heads of the adults is amplified. So yeah, that stuff like that. It can overwhelm you, but don't worry. I'm doing like baby steps. Let's be honest. I'm not at the level of Ellen Moore, and but I mean, also I have to say, you don't. That, like, the beauty of art is that you don't actually have to, you can learn a lot about the tools of any artistry. Let's say you're a painter, you can learn a lot about pencils and brushes and all of these things, and maybe you will. My beard is itchy today. But you can actually draw a great piece of art without knowing any of that. So that's sort of also the beauty about art and magic, that you can stumble, or not stumble, you can really feel yourself to a great piece, a great joke, a great poem, story, whatever, by not really knowing what you're doing. Which is like, that's great fun. That's really that makes it approachable, and really everyone should approach it in some way. It's so much fun just to doodle, just to make a few drawings in your notebook. So I highly recommend that. But yeah, where was I? I don't know. I think it's trigger time. I think I'm gonna do a massage thing again, a brain massage. I didn't do it for a while. Yeah. days I really rewatch them a lot. It's hard to describe, but it is, as I said, it's like before that I could recount a lot of what he said, but I didn't really get it. I mean, I got it, I understood it in a purely logical, no, not logical, not radical, rational, maybe not even, but I could repeat the sentences, but I didn't understand them. There's a big difference. There's like, of really incorporating. I can't get, I can't get a better word than understanding and knowing it. It's like, it's really, there's a big difference between those two. That's also, incidentally, what I think is really wrong with, schools, because I don't think they draw a very stark distinction between those two, They make a test and they check if you know that, but they don't check if you understood it, if you really did you get it, That's, for example, a very big flaw in how magical language is taught in schools. And when I say magical language, I am talking about religious subjects, and I'm not happy with that. I mean, but I don't judge any religions. Maybe some, but no, seriously. You're free to think and believe what you want, but I do have a problem with this sort of, with this, you have to, are you in our club or a different club, and, it's, I don't like that. I think it should be completely free, and the dialogue between religions should be completely free. I think that would make them a lot cooler and not so, institutionalized, but anyway, the kids in school, itchy. I think I have bugs inside. No, that would be horrible. No, but yeah. So what I noticed is that some kids coming out of these religious lessons are very confused. I mean, for example, we have a bunch of vehicles like scooters and stuff like that on the playground, and once after one of such a lesson, the kids came out to play, and I saw one of the kids driving without steering the vehicle, and he said, God is steering, and he was going down the full speed, and that's where I thought, yeah, that's a problem. They didn't quite, they heard the words, they remembered the words, but they didn't get it. And I have a bunch of blog, I could talk about, yeah, you could pick this apart, this God is steering what is God, I believe, I really got hooked by the idea that everything, that consciousness, like all of consciousness is sort of, you could call that God, cause that's not graspable, that's sort of, and perhaps it's even you could philosophize a lot about this, the most beautiful image I found of a description, you could say, of God was that it was the net that holds the universe together. That's like, wow, that's wow, but yeah, when you think about consciousness, I'm sort of hooked by the idea that everything's conscious, and that it's all around us and within us, and yeah, sort of, then it makes sense that you could feel yourself towards the truth and around obstacles, and it has this flow idea and this different way of seeing, and then in that context, God steers, us. It's sort of, yeah, I can sort of attempt to understand it in that way, like, yeah, but this doesn't fit into a half an hour religious lesson for 7-year-olds. Like, I don't know how to do that, and they're doing that day in, day out. So, but yeah. Anywho, lots of stuff to do actually at my school. I'm there. I can talk to the teachers. That's sort of the other thing, or maybe I talked about it. I don't remember, but yeah, it's actually, that's the other thing that comes with it, with leveling up. You become, if you're doing it right, you should become more present, and then those challenges, they change, they become more important. Not so much about yourself. It's this and that. It's both. But yeah, it's an interesting journey, and now I realize that, oh my God, there's so much to do where I am right now. And I can do so much good, and that's a challenge. Just talking to people, and for example, talking them out of the idea that, yeah, hey, it's okay if boys are wrestling, for fun, or if they're doing pistol hands or stuff like that. They're not playing war, That's just in our heads, and we have to get rid of these stupid ideas. We all have to be a bit better at magic, I'd say, without losing touch to, let's call it, nature. Yeah, the consciousness around us, and now it gets, yeah, I feel it again. You can drift off there, but you get the idea. You feel it, right? You feel me. I do. I'm doing really well. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think that was a great ramble. I'm toying around with light settings. I think I got the exposure thing down finally, that it doesn't change all the time. And yeah, I'm looking forward to. I think in the next video I'm gonna talk about this magical technology I was teasing in my last video. I think I'm gonna do that. But really, I think these rambles are better if they aren't planned at all. Which is like the liberating thing about my Substack. This is where I can really plan stuff. I wanna, I sort of set up a headline, a theme, something I want to write about, and then this is where I get ordered thoughts, you could say, and this is the more off the cuff, however it flows. I mean, it also flows on the page. It's this and that. It's both, but it complements each other in interesting ways. Anyway, yeah, check out my Substack if you want. Oh my God, now I'm turning into one of these annoying, hey, and my Instagram, and follow me on Twitter or X or whatever it's called now. You get the idea. If you want, check it out. If you don't, whatever. You do you. Flow. Be in the flow.